This is Anusha. Recently, I built a dashboard that analyzes taxi trip data of March 2025 data. The problem statement is, as TLC company enters its next phase of growth, regional managers need better visibility into key performance metrics and trip trends for smarter data-driven planning. So, the objective today would be to build an interactive dashboard that analyzes taxi trip data to uncover key patterns in trip volume, fare distribution, location trends, and trip categories. For this project, I have used the datasets which are sampled from high volume for high vehicle trip records of March 2025. They are publicly available on the NYC Taxi and Limnos Commission's official website. And I have used Power BI for data visualization and DAX calculations, Python for preliminary data cleaning and transformations, and MySQL for some summarizations. So now let's dive into the dashboard. This is the welcome page of my dashboard. So here you can see the total revenue generated from the taxi trips of in that month March, and the total number of trips, and the percentage of trips with surcharge, almost 57.3, and then the airport trip revenue and toll trip revenue and congestion trip revenue. I have given this in the introduction page so that people will know like how each page or how these trips contribute to the whole total revenue. And here you can see we analyze the data of these 5 boroughs which are in New York City. Queens is the biggest borough with 67 zones, then followed by Manhattan and then Brooklyn. And next here you can see the fare distribution in boroughs. So this is the total fare in each borough and the total surcharge collected here. And Manhattan, the total fare is more as well as the surcharge. And then again Brooklyn and Queens. In the Queens the surcharge is more because Queens is the house to major airports, so it includes most of the airport fee. So now we'll dive into the executive overview. So in the executive dashboard, it looks something similar to this. So here I have these KPIs: total revenue, total trips, and the percentage of trips with surcharge. And this is the average fare per trip. It is $25 and it is average fare per mile. So here you can see the total volume of trips, and I think Manhattan is having more trips. After that it is followed by Brooklyn. And when I see the visual of trip volume by zone, LaGuardia Airport, it has the maximum trips. Then it is JFK Airport. And here when I check the trip volume is max in these hours. Here I have given the filter for the hours also, so that you can calculate the total revenue from in the filter by giving the start and the end time peak hours. And here if you can see here there is by volume. We are seeing how many long trips, short trips and medium trips are there. So I have categorized the trips based on distances, like the trips which are less than 3.5 miles are categorized into short, and greater than 3.5 to 7 miles are medium trips, and greater than 7 miles is long trips. So by volume, if you see, the short trips are more, but when I calculate with the total fare amount, the long trips which are not much or relatively small before are also contributing equal to short trips almost. So this shows the long trips revenue is really significant. And here if I check the weekly trend, you can see the trip volume is decreasing from first week, but whereas the average fare trip is increasing by week. This suggests like as the month moves on to the end, the trip quality is increasing, the quality of trip is increasing. And here when I check the trip volume, Saturday is the busiest day with maximum trips, and the night and day trips are almost equal. Now here we have checked all this visual with respect to trip volume. So I have created another tab. When we click it, we'll get whole visuals comparing with the total fare amount. You can see. So here the total fare amount in the week 3 it has increased a little bit, and week 4 it reduced, but the average fare is increasing. And here if you can see, the Saturday is giving more revenue, but on Thursday the average fare per trip is more, suggesting some quality trips on Thursday. Next here we'll see the next tab, that is trip distance. So in trip distance, Manhattan is covering the major distance, I mean the major trips. And here also with respect to the distance, JFK Airport is at the top. And again, the other things I have given the timing filter. And here you can see the trip distance is almost equal at this place. Now we'll go to here, we can see the JFK Airport or the LaGuardia Airport. The airports are at the peak zones. That is the reason checking airport trips is also very important. So we'll go to the airport trips page. So here in airport trips page, we are comparing the major airports, that is JFK Airport, LaGuardia Airport and Newark Airport. So when I check the airport trips, I can see Sunday and Monday are the busiest event compared to Saturday for the general trip volume. And Queens come first in the borough because Queens is the home to the airports, and then followed by Manhattan. And you can see the trip category, most of them are long distance trips for airport. And here you can see the LaGuardia is first dominated, followed by JFK Airport. And the trip volume, airport trip volume in the middle of the weeks is generally consistently increasing. And here you can see the JFK Airport trips are giving maximum revenue, followed by LaGuardia Airport and Newark Airport. And the average airport trip fare is 60.93. In this, the average airport fee is also included, that is almost $2.5. And this is the distance. The Newark Airport is having the more distance, and JFK, and then this. And you can see the tips also. Generally they are given for long trips, and these are the average trips given. Now we'll go to the tall trips. In the tall trips, you can see almost 11.2% of the trips are tall trips, and this is the percentage of revenue generated. So when I check this again, Saturday you have more tall trips, and again the airports. After that it is Times Square, Midtown, I mean generally the areas of Manhattan are having more tall trips. And the tall trips are again in the second, third week they are consistently increasing. And Manhattan is covering the major tall trips, followed by Queens. Here also Manhattan is driving more tall trip revenue. And the average tall trip tall fee is $6.6. This is included in this fare. And you can see the distance of average tall trips here and the tall trip time. Now we'll go to the congestion trips. So when I do go to the congestion trips, you can see almost 38.5% of trips are congestion. So it is driving more revenue. Congestion trips is almost driving 45% of the revenue. So when I check the Saturday has more congestion, but here when I check congestion trips are mostly from the Manhattan borough, and you can see the long distance trips and the short distance trips, but long distance trips are contributing more, and followed by short distance trips. And yes, congestion trips are more in Manhattan and the more revenue is given there. But Brooklyn also is, yeah. Yes, and the Brooklyn, the number of trips are this. So the number of trips in Manhattan are also more. And the average congestion fee, you can see in Manhattan it is more. And the average congestion trip fare is 29.6. And the trip distance is this. So now we'll go to the location analysis. So in location analysis, you can check we have KPIs for most frequent pickup and most frequent drop off, and top earning pickup zones and top earning drop off zones. And here we have a matrix with all the boroughs and even the zones inside to clearly see values of each zone also. So here we have given every possible metrics for the borough: zone count, trip volume, revenue, average fare, distance, driver pay, airport trip count also. And you can see in Queens airport trip count is more, though the total trip volume is more in Manhattan. And these are the average trip time. And here the average congestion trips and toll trips are also given based on this pickup zones. And here if we check the scatter plot, we see that these zones, so the JFK airport has the highest average fare also. The total fare amount is more, but as well as the JFK has the highest fare amount. This suggests more quality trips compared to the next one. So here this whole I have grouped with respect to the pickup zones. So when I look about with respect to the drop-off zones, you can see Newark Airport has come into the picture when it comes to drop-off zones, and these are the other zones. You can zoom in and zoom out to check each performance or to declutter these zones and see properly. And here I have given the borough filter also. Here the congestion trips and toll trips are also on the basis of drop-off zones. So when you see in the basis of pickup zones, you have a short, medium, and long distance trips. But when on the basis of short drop-off zones, there are more long trips. And here also in toll trips also there are more long trips like before. So here I have given the filter for borough also, so that you can check individually when this borough is selected. You will be able to see the zone performance of that borough at that place. So here I have created this comprehensive dashboard, and now based on this I have some insights. Let's discuss about it. So the key insights would be the driver pay is almost 73.5% of total base passenger fare, and only 17.6% of trips have recorded with tips. Out of whole trip records, only 17% of trips have recorded with tips, and the average tip amount is almost $5. And the longer trips, in spite of low volume, contribute approximately 37% of the total revenue, almost close to shorter trip contribution. Hourly insights: the peak trip booking hours are 4 to 10 p.m. and the peak booking hour in particular is 6 p.m. and 5.7% of trips are recorded, and peak revenue contributing hours are 2 to 7 p.m. These are little out of office hours, but still they are contributing more revenue because of the long airport trips. And the peak earning hour is again 6 p.m. It is driving almost 5.8% of total revenue. Despite low trip volume at 3 to 4 am, the average fare increased 26%, likely due to longer airport trips or outer borough trips. 2 to 11 pm, despite more trip volume, consistent average fare indicating short trips. Based on weekly trends, trip volume is decreased by nearly 9%, but trip distance is decreased by nearly 9%, whereas total revenue peaked slightly in third week, but average fare increased nearly by 10%. And now if I check the weekday insights, Saturday is the busiest day with nearly 18% of total trips as well as revenue. On Thursday, average fare is max, almost 26% than the lowest. And the airport trips are more on Sunday, followed by Monday. And Saturday is the busiest day for tolls and congestion trips also. Percentage of trips with airport fee is 7% and it is driving 60%. 16% of total revenue. The congestion trips are driving almost 45% of total revenue and the toll trips are driving almost 20% of total revenue. So airport trips, toll trips and congestion trips are more in the middle of the month compared to the month started and weeks. So when I go to location insights, trip volume of Manhattan is highest with nearly 37% of total trips. Queen being home for airport drives more revenue from airport trips. LaGuardia Airport is the most frequent pickup and drop-off point, and JFK Airport is the top earning drop-off sensor. To check more about the locations, if you give the borough, you will get the most frequent pickup in that borough, the most drop-off zone and the pickup zone and the drop-off zone, most earning. So here in filters you get that insights easily. And after the location insights, we'll go to the recommendation. Deploy drivers early in high demand areas to capture morning search. Since we can see the demand as per the data in the chart, we need to deploy drivers early, capturing that demand. Target shift workers and travelers with focused marketing and airport trip offers, because those trips offer a lot of revenue. Promote pre-booking for late night and early morning rides, because if you are pre-booked, then the drivers can be intelligently placed without not having much wait time for the rides, because drivers have to wait, they'll have a more wait time in between the bookings, because there will be less bookings at the night times. Integrate micro mobility and transit in congestion prone zones. Yes, there are some zones which are congestion prone. For that we can integrate micro mobility and transit, so that we can address that congestion issue, and we can encourage shared rides for short trips in Manhattan. And next we need to optimize stop pickup and drop off zones during peak hours to boost efficiency and revenue. And that's it for the dashboard insights and recommendations. Thank you for watching.